Okay. What was that? Am I making sense here? We're not too sure. Hello there, my name is Niamh and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, I upload videos twice a week, every Tuesday and every Friday, so you should totally stick around and subscribe. And if you are subscribed, make sure that you have that little notification bell turned on so that you get notified every single time I upload a new video. Today I am back with another mental health chats video. I'm going to be talking about feeling overwhelmed. So I think this is a feeling that honestly is overlooked a lot of the time. And I think overwhelmed can mean different things for different people. In my opinion, I don't know, you could be different, but I just don't think that being overwhelmed is talked about. Like, I don't think people say, like, I'm just really overwhelmed, you know. I just don't think that's the thing. You say like, oh, like, I'm anxious because of this, I'm, you know, or I'm kind of sad with this. But I think a lot of the time those feelings can kind of come from feeling overwhelmed, or else they can kind of make you feel overwhelmed. But I just think as a whole, the feeling of feeling overwhelmed, it's such a weird word. Like, I'm like, is overwhelmness? Is that a word? I don't know. What I'm just trying to say is I just think the whole feeling overwhelmed is very overlooked. There's too much overs and stuff going on. Anyway, bear with me, I think I have some okay things to say. I did literally briefly just mention this, but for me, feeling overwhelmed can bring out other emotions for me, such as stress or anxiety. But I also kind of feel it differently, if that makes sense. Like, I feel everything like in my chest. So like, I feel stress in my chest, I feel anxious in my chest. Whereas when I feel overwhelmed, it's like, this is going to sound so strange, I look so oversaturated. I don't know what's up with the lighting, my apologies, because it is so dull outside, but I look oversaturated. Will I check? Oh, are we coming down a little bit there? Okay, I think I've kind of balanced myself out here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, this is gonna sound weird, but it's like my inner, like my core feels off. Like, I just feel, I don't know, everything just feels too much. Like, which, yeah, makes sense, like overwhelmed, but like I just feel the sense of being overwhelmed everywhere in my body. And along with this, I feel my emotions much stronger, and I could never figure out what it was. Like, I was feeling anxious, but like really, really anxious. So I was feeling stressed, but like really stressed, sad, but like incredibly sad. And that was because I was overwhelmed. Am I making sense here? We're not too sure. Let me give you an example. So I work in a cafe slash restaurant, whatever you want to call it. It can be called both. Anyway, not important. But I went back after the first lockdown. I went back like the 1st of July or something. And I had no idea what I was walking into, but in my head I was like, this is probably what it's going to be like. And it was nothing like that, and it was so mental and so busy. And I was just like thrown by everything. And I was waiting for Dave, my boyfriend, to come collect me, and I was sitting like, there's like kind of park benches near where I work. I was waiting for him there, and I just started crying. And I couldn't, like, I'm a crier, but I'm quite good at controlling. Like, I can cry without anyone really knowing I'm crying, which isn't a great thing, but I learned it in my old job. I was able to actually just like cry without anyone even noticing. But anyway, I just started not uncontrollably crying just yet, sorry. I was sitting on the bench and just tears were falling, and I was like, Niamh, like, there's lots of people around, like, what are you doing? And Dave like came around the corner and got me, and I just burst into tears in his car. And I was like, what the hell? I didn't feel like me. It didn't feel right, but I couldn't tell what I was feeling. And I think it was maybe later on, or a few days later, I was like, I'm incredibly overwhelmed. And it was the first time that I really acknowledged that I had felt overwhelmed and things were just too much. The situation I had been put in was just too much for me at that time, and I did not know what to do, because you don't hear much about being overwhelmed. You don't hear much about how to like get out of an overwhelmed mood, or like feeling overwhelmed and stuff. Yeah, since then it's something that I've noticed is just a very different emotion for me. Not even emotion, but it's a different like state of mind and a different feeling for me, if you get what I mean. So I am here to give you a little bit of advice as to what I do when I'm feeling overwhelmed, or kind of things that I have found can help me, and maybe they can help you. These are basically just some kind of like tips or just bits of advice that I have for you when the feeling kind of, you can feel it starting to kick in, or when it already has kicked in. The first thing is, if you can, remove yourself from the situation. Now, this was not something I could do in the middle of work. I couldn't really just leave, but you know, if you're just in a situation, maybe you're talking to someone and you're just getting the feeling, just make up an excuse, or just be like, I really need to go to the bathroom or something like this. Just remove yourself from the situation, go outside, or else just kind of step aside and take a few deep breaths. You know, even if it's like you're just lying in bed and it kind of comes on you, just get up, go to a different room for a little bit, just change your environment, just change your situation, get out of it if you can, because I think the longer you sit in it, the more overwhelmed you're going to feel. So I know it mightn't work for every situation, but if you are in a place that you can get out of, remove yourself. If you can't remove yourself from the situation, one thing I would do is focus on your breathing. Now, I used to be a person who hated when people were like, it's all about deep breaths, like focus on your breathing, take some deep breaths. I was never about this, do you know, especially when it came to like anxiety and stuff. I was never about the whole like, just take some deep breaths. However, I have noticed when I feel overwhelmed, focusing on my breathing does help. It might not mean, the lighting's gone so weird again. Do I need a ring light? Do I need a ring light? One thing I noticed, not even trying to take deep breaths, but just focus on your breathing. It doesn't have to be this big like, that can help sometimes, but even just notice that you're breathing, and just, I found that it can kind of ground me a little bit more. Just take my mind briefly off whatever is making me feel overwhelmed if I'm just like focusing on just like in and out. And it just, I don't know, I was always against the whole like just take deep breaths, but it does help me when I feel overwhelmed. The next thing I have to say is just let your emotions out. Now, this might not be something you can do in the moment, but when you've felt overwhelmed and like when you've maybe calmed down a little while later, get it out. Either talk it out with yourself, write it down, cry it out, scream, just get out whatever emotion overwhelming is bringing on. Very bad English there, I think. Do you know what I mean? Like just let it out, no matter what it is. Like if you're so overwhelmed, you're feeling sad, cry. Or, you know, I don't know, just do whatever you do when you feel sad. Like just let out your emotions and just get everything down on paper, or else talk to a friend or a family member, or yourself in the mirror, yourself in, you know, here in bed, whatever. Just have a chat if you can, if you feel up to it, or else just have a cry, have a scream, hit your pillow, whatever you do. Just get it all out, because you will feel a little bit better and a little bit lighter, I think, I hope. And the next thing is the thing I'm going to leave you with, and it is, remember that you are in control. You are in charge of your thoughts. You are in charge of your actions. You are the one who can change how you feel. Now, I'm very aware it's a lot easier said than done. I know this. The lighting, oh, it's pissing me off, man. I'm very aware that knowing you're in control is a lot easier said than done kind of thing, and like using the knowledge that you're in control to change how you feel, a lot easier said than done. I'm aware of this, but if you can, just try remember that you have the power to stop feeling overwhelmed. You know, like you can say, okay, yes, I'm in work, yes, it's tearing busy and people are all on top of me, but I can't change that right now. What I can change is my attitude. I can just blissfully ignore everything that's stressing me and making me feel overwhelmed, and I can just be this fake person for the rest of work and then let it out. Just remember that you are in control of your actions, and you are in control of your thoughts and how you feel. You are the one in control of that. Please remember that. You can decide what to do from here on out. Yeah, okay. I think I'm done. I hope that was helpful. It felt really short, but my camera says I haven't been talking for 12 minutes. But I don't know, it just feels really short. But I just wanted to make this video because, as I said, I don't feel that overwhelmed is an emotion or a feeling that's discussed openly that often. I don't see that much about it online or anything. Okay, maybe I'm not looking in the right places, but I felt like it wasn't out there. So I wanted to make a video Just saying that feeling overwhelmed is a very valid emotion and a valid feeling, and it's really difficult because, you know, for me it takes over my whole body. That's really difficult, but I just want to tell you that it's okay. It's an okay feeling to have, it's an okay emotion to have, whatever you want to call it. You've got this, okay? These are just some things that I find can help me when I feel overwhelmed. Maybe at least one of them might help you too, or it might spark you to kind of think of your own things that you can do to help yourself when you're feeling overwhelmed. And you've got this, you're in control. You are the one in charge of your brain. Remember that, okay? Okay, Niamh, remember that. All these videos really are just to myself, you know? You know? Okay, that's all. We're gonna leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you do, and that you got something from it. That is always what I want with these videos. If you did like it, I'd really appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I shall see you when I next see you.